Hi guys, what's up? Stephen Nightingale Ball speaking here. Oh,
23 seconds.
I best be careful because that's magnetic. I do not want that to stick to there. I want it to go there, and it's gonna tattling. Should have a tripod really. Right. Oh shoot. What am I going to discuss then? There we go. Trying to raise this keyboard's a bit of a nightmare. So, as you can't tell, I'm getting ready for work. So, just to show you all, I'm going to tick. What the fuck's just dropped there? Stupid. Come on, show me my live chat window. Or don't.
Yep.
Okay.
Channel. Switch camera button. Switch camera.
As you can see there, this is our computer and I'm having to reboot it. Not really a major issue. So there we go. Nothing too flash there. I'm just going to let it scan. So you can see my calendar, which there isn't really much in. Somebody was asking me the date. I'm going to answer this question since it's a live stream. What were they asking, Andy? They were asking how YouTube could be cyberclans. How YouTube could be cyberclans. Well, Unfortunately, CyberClans has changed because it's not what it used to be.
Now, BBC Focus Magazine.
Um, it's not its cool, free-flowing thing that it once was, because the issue that we had with CyberClans was there was a few message boards that were being inappropriately used. We'll put it like that. There wasn't any material that shouldn't have been there, but there was kind of material that shouldn't have been there. So it's kind of more kind of hacking sort of things. I made a post on, my last post was on the Hackers Forum, and I put there are no MP3 encoders for the, should I be saying this on YouTube? There are no MP3 encoders for the VTech, because the Hackers Forum is still going, it's just moved. But the last post I put on there, or the last thread I put on there was, and it's an imaginary forum, so you can't find it anywhere anyway. But my last thread that I put on there was VTech challenges cannot be hacked. There are no, like, when I mean hacks, I mean you can't add anything to them. I even had the nerve, right? I'm going to say this on YouTube, to all you VTech lovers, a big shout out, a big thumbs up to one of my favourite channels who I haven't subscribed to, because I'm not sure how on the app, but I will find a way on actual YouTube when I get a chance. But a big thumbs up to the person who's a disabled YouTuber who's doing really well. I've forgotten her name. I think, is it Dino Egg? And she's doing really well, and she does, she reviews a lot of VTech items. And she actually liked, strangely enough, she liked my Slide and Go VTech review. And the reason I did that was because Roberto Blake, another YouTuber, go check him out, was talking about reviewing things that you use on a daily basis. So that kind of inspired me to review my Slide and Go toy phone. And I didn't just say why I had it, why I bought it. I actually said what I use it for. And even though it's a toy phone, and there's a lot, you know, VTech are doing really well. They're doing better than Fisher Price. And I'm really sad that they bought Leapfrog, because I read into Leapfrog, and I would love to do the story of Leapfrog told right here on YouTube. I don't have any Leapfrog products. Actually, no, tell a lie. I have the Chat and Go, whatever it's called, smartphone. I have that, and it's really, really cool. But Leapfrog had Sega's CEO, Tom Kalinske, for a while. And he spoke on the Retro Gaming podcast as another. Do you know, I should put these links in the description, but forgot to do that. So maybe I'll put them in the comment section for those people who want to know. But there's a great podcast on YouTube. It's called The Retro Hour. It's one of my favourite YouTubers, Dan Wood, from cookietech.net. So big thumbs up to him, even though he doesn't watch my videos. But I just want to put a side note. He helped a lot of blind people out who wanted to buy Commodores and said that we could get Magic Voice for the Commodore. And but I'm gonna say, right, he talks about DJing on it. He used to talk about DJing with the Commodore 64. Yet he's never spoke about which DJ programs he used with the Amiga. Maybe it's because the Amiga scene, even though they have one chiptune artist, which is Citrix, there isn't really many chiptune artists on that scene. But I'd love to hear our friend Dan Wood talk about on his channel, to talk about how you could use the Amiga for DJing purposes, because I know he'd love to talk about that, but I don't think he does. I think there's a reason. I think his channel's just kind of showing off Amiga and what it does on a platform. But what really upsets me about the Amiga, and even the guy who did Amiga format even said in his interview that it was sad that Amiga never got pushed enough. I think today, right, Amiga wouldn't survive in today's world because it's like the Acorn, which is BBC computers are trying to make a comeback. But the reason why these retro computers are being the reason why they're coming back, the reason why you keep reading stuff about ZX Spectrum, which I cover on my radio programs on a Wednesday afternoon, the reason I cover the ZX Spectrum, the reason why everyone's talking about the ZX Spectrum is because there's a community that's bringing it back. It's not, there's a company bringing it back. However, Commodore, unfortunately, their name is being relicensed. So nobody can just have that name anymore, which is good, because we're not seeing crappy products with Commodore written on them. And so on. But yeah. But I think I will do the story of, I will research it, and I will do on this channel, I will do the story of Leapfrog.
Switch camera. Button. Switch camera.
Now, I also want to talk about me finishing my vlogs. Basically, if you watched my videos regularly, you'll know that this isn't the end. I spoke to King Legends, actually. I want to talk about King Legends because I talked about my imaginary stuff with him, and I tell you what, he's one of the coolest YouTubers ever. His channel isn't doing really well because his channel is picked up because he's got people, but if you see in his comment section, it's mainly either people he knows or family members or something, because they're the people who watch his videos, and you can tell. I told him that I was blind and everything, and I'm sorry, King Legends, if you're watching this and I'm not talking to you, I'm actually talking at you, which is a bit wrong. I think if you're watching this, mate, I think you're a great YouTube. I'm going to say this right, thumbs up. Because I tell you why I love your videos, right? A lot of vloggers don't. I don't know. I don't get YouTube vlogging these days, right? A lot of people kind of think there's set rules to vlogging. Now, I want to start a workshop pretty soon. I'm going to start it on a day that I can think, because I've actually timetabled my channel. If people don't know, the Mondays are driving your vision days when I can really do. I'm actually helping a friend out, Oscar Duke, and I'm putting an audio book out soon. I'm doing the series first. I'm doing an audio book, and I'm gonna give that to my friend so you can buy that off him. But I'm gonna once I've done the audio book, there will be a YouTube release. So if people want to have a free copy of the audio book, you'll have to let me know. But I've not done it yet. And right, here's another thing. I'm also for those who have braille notes. If you're a blind person and you have a braille note like myself, for free, because a lot of visually impaired people, we don't get things for free, but you have to have the braille note device. If you have a braille note Empower, right, I will record the Driving Your Vision book on it for free. I'll record each chapter, each segment, each detail, and I will personalize that for you. So I'll tell you when that's happening. See, I'm just freestyling. So I'm actually talking about things that matter in a vlog. When people do vlogs, right, they don't talk a lot of these things. I actually watched a vlog where some girl, she was driving a car and she's like, I'm just gonna drive, and then she was like, oh hold on, I've got to get out, and then she was showing off things. Now, I'm gonna say the YouTube platform, okay, what if that person was wanting to do something else? You've got to remember, right, YouTube is used not just to look at, it's to do. Me and Adam, now we've got this live stream going, me and Adam, we're going to do the Hypercast, and we're going to do it once a month, and we're going to do it right here on YouTube, and we're going to talk about the things we love, which is, we're going to keep it to what the channel represents, but we're going to talk on what we love. Another thing I want to rant about is, why do people have one YouTube channel for one thing and another YouTube channel for another? Is that so you can get more subscribers? Seriously. I mean, and I actually had somebody asking me a question, right? Because I actually had one of Anne's subscribers. My sister Anne does a YouTube channel, I think it's called Anne and Jack. She has a horse called Jack, who she rides, and I'm going to say this quickly because I'm not promoting this at all through my channel. But she rides, and I'm not being sponsored either. And she rides Jack. No, she doesn't ride it. Well, she rides him, but I don't know what she does. But she has a channel and she shows off Jack. Basically, that's her channel. If you're into horses, you can go check that out. I'm personally not into horses, but Jack is a good friend. He's a fantastic. I knew that horse when he came, basically. So we met basically. We have a great bond, and I took some pictures of Jack and put them on my Facebook, and a couple of people who Anne's got on her Facebook or whatever were asking me the questions. Is that my horse? No, it's Anne's horse. I think they were complete noobs because obviously, if you watch that channel, but I want the thing with vlogging, and Andy's not spoken yet. It's all right. I'm just typing away, but all right. But I worked for a pretend web design company, and I always talk about what I love, what I do, and how I do it. There's been kids playing pretend post office on their channel and showing up and showing that off. And do you know what? I think they're really, really cool videos. I love watching them because, you know, it inspires them. Excuse me. And you know, it really, really inspires me. It really does, because I don't know what inspires me about it. It just does. It shows me those kids are into whatever they're into. I for one thing think, Now here's the thing is, right? I need to get back to the cyberclans thing. So yeah, YouTube cyberclans. Well, cyberclans used to be really good, and it used to be a website with all different things in. It was a web magazine that came out each time. It had its own browser which fell over. It was a bit like CFAX. I think you could run it in CFAX. People hacked the browser, it run through CFAX. But the reason they shut it down was because of all the malware and viruses it were getting, because a lot of people kind of hacked in using fantastically malware and stuff. So, and then there was copyright issues. And I discussed this with somebody in law, right? I'm not going to mention their names or anything, but they said they didn't work that field, but they did. We had a great discussion about it, and they said, well, if that's your idea, maybe you went down the right path, but you were a bit harsh, and you know, I thought, yeah, okay. I did do videos on copyright, and we're still not allowed to talk about the case because it's still ongoing. I'm not involved in it. Adam's not involved in it. Nobody's involved in it anymore. And unless we talk about it, if we talked about it, we would be involved in it. Somebody on Instagram, right? I'm going to talk about this. Some real person on Instagram, I've forgotten their name, asked me a question a while back, and I didn't see. They said, why did I not go ahead with this? Why did I not go to cut with this? Well, the one thing that I didn't go to cut with it, because again, it's, as I just disclosed before, it was not me who designed it, it was Adam, and he wanted his name all over CyberClans. Even he wanted his name on the browser. And I said, well, you know, fair dues, it is our product. At the end of the day, if we're putting it out there, they should have a name on it, but it's their product. And strangely enough, right, this pretend company, even though he's played out this story, I read on Google, of all places, that Apple were allegedly slamming Samsung again. And I thought, hold on a second, this sounds like something that we're going through. So, you know. But CyberClans used to be really good, and people used to talk on CyberClans. You could, I think there was going to be a way that you could have done live stream through video, and you could chat to people through live stream. But YouTube, you can use it. You could use it like CyberClans. So you could put up a video, you could talk through the video, or you could do a vlog, and then people could just post comments underneath the vlog, providing that you wanted them to do that. The only, I think, issue, YouTube seems to have a massive issue with people advertising in the comment section, because, I don't know, but yeah, I'm just freestyling, so if I do go off the rails, it's not like I've got anything planned. I'm doing a YouTube video a bit more later on today. I'm doing a video for later on, and it's talking about the MGRX, which is an imaginary conference, and we're live streaming it this year. We're going to do a live stream from here to Dunes, which is a real place, and we're going to talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, and we're going to have Skype and phones and all that kind of thing set up so we can do it. But yeah, so I'm just aware of everything at the moment. Oh, by the way, today is the day I think you've got to submit your VTech selfies for the camera, if you want to do that, to win your kiddie Zoom. I don't think I will now, because I looked on the thing for VTech to see if they could, but they didn't. So yeah. I don't need to look at the screen when I type, which is cool. I'm visually impaired, but this computer I'm using, I'm having a few issues with it. But I kind of know where I need to go with this machine. I kind of sort of know its ins and outs. Oh yes, someone asked me last week, are you doing marketing tutorials? No, but I am doing a mind mob course pretty soon. And another question I got asked last week was, what do I think to the gaming community? You seem to sort of not bother about it now. Well, that was because we had a magazine called Magic Silver Room, and it's still, I've kind of just left it. It's kind of smelling like an old sock. It's still visible. It does its own thing, and it has its own community, if you will. I know there's a lot of people on Tumblr that seem to be, I don't see them, but they are there, and they are reblogging half my posts. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I think people were asking me about Pokemon Go, what my thoughts were on it. Well, it's a new way of gaming, really. Real world gaming is, I'm writing an article on it because I've read stuff on, I've been researching. Real world gaming is better than VR. And seriously, I wanted to try a VR headset ages ago. I wanted to try VR, virtual reality. And I'm not going to try it now because I've been put off. Apparently, virtual reality isn't as good because to get virtual reality really good, okay, you would have to have it running through, first of all, you'd have to have it running through one of those, you would have to go to a IMAX to experience VR properly, right? Because, right, I've had conversations with people about this. Can you see the edges of the screen with VR? Right? Now, what you're doing with VR is apparently, even though they're charging you the earth for these headsets and things, right, and these wonderful glasses, spoiler, you're not getting the VR experience, right? And for the high definition sound, right, you have to pay absolutely a fortune to get high definition sound. And another spoiler alert, you've wasted your money on high definition sound cards because, okay, you haven't got the high definition sounds. Now, I have read up on VR where people have got the high definition sound cards and the high definition graphics, and yes, it will work. but those things have to support it. Otherwise, you've just wasted your money. For me personally on sound, I don't believe in high definition sound. I don't believe in it. But what I do believe in is like there is high definition sound and there isn't high definition sound. You can record high definition sound, but you would need a really good sound card because the amount of bits they're in. I think they record them in 40. I'm kind of a bit old school when it comes to bit rates for recording, because I think I'm into I think it's 16 bit and 64. When I know it's actually a bit more now. I think it's like 42 bits we use now for sound. But for high definition sound, it's more bits. And yeah, you need a really good sound card to cope with it. A really good one. And you need really good speakers. You need really good headset. And these VR headsets are very badly shaped headsets, because what they're doing is they're playing around with the ears. So you've got like I mean, you could do this with any earphone. In fact, if you get those earphones that just sort of rest in the ear, not earbuds, because you can't do it with earbuds. Can I just mention something about earbuds? Whichever way you try and put an earbud in your ear, it sounds crap. Okay, right? But if you put an earbud just straight into your ear, right? If you just whack it straight in, it, you know. Now I hate earbuds, and I will come to why in a second. But right, let's address just like the old earphones, right, that rest in the ear. Now, you've got nodes and antinodes inside your ear, right? Basically, antinodes where things sound louder, or whatever, where things sound softer. Now, I used to, my dad used to say to me, "Oh, Stephen, you've got the earphone wrong in the ear," right? Which I did, because the way I used to put earphones in, right, because I never knew how they went in, I used to put them side on into the ear. Maybe you could try that when you've, basically, you know how on earphone you've got the round bit into the ear. Your brain will trick you. It really will. I used to get really boomy bass sounds from my earphones, and wondered why. It was because I had the earphones wrong. But I used to get, it's because your head hears it, not your ear. But right, so let's get back to VR headsets. Right, the VR headsets are badly shaped, wrong. So when you put them onto your ears, your brain is tricking to you, thinking, "Wow, this is high def sound," right? Because, and obviously, the headphones would have to be really big, and the sounds have to go from far left to far right, because surround sound system, that's just left and right speaker. It's the way it's been mixed. It's just left and right. There is no front or back. It's left is, hang on, let me remember this. Right is front, left is back, right? When you go into a cinema, I need to stress this, and I realised this yesterday, right? If you are sat in the middle in the cinema, you can hear everything. Now, when I'm in the cinema, I'm not really worried, because I've got the audio described on one ear, right? But when you're sat in the middle, you're going to get everything, right? But if you go to a cinema, right, if you're sat on the left side, focus on what's coming nearest to you. If you have like the sounds coming right behind you, that's because you're on the left side, okay? Because it's not going to go all the way around the room. It's going to go to, if it's say like a spaceship's hovering over, it'll go from left to right usually, and over the top. But it's the way it's panned, and there will be a lot of surround sound mixing involved for VR. Now, back in the days before when virtual reality was a thing, right? And I never really got to taste it, but I used to play around with mixers and speakers. And if you get a load of speakers in a room and you get a mixer and you can play around with the pan control, which I did as a kid, and it goes around all the speakers, I think we had a tape or something which a friend of mine had, and we put it on and we just played around and with the boombox, you know. Oh wow, this sounds good, and we played around with it lots and lots, you know, from back to front and round, and it really we created some effects, and that was back in the early days. That was Oh, it's my phone.
No power mode. Button. Close. Button. YouTube. Finish. Button.
Yeah, I'm going to finish this now, but hopefully I can come back and do another of these at some point.